social media is changing human interaction.
In today's hyper-connected world, social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok have been essential tools for communication.
While social media provides unprecedented opportunities for staying connected, it also raises concern about its impact on our social skills.
Understanding how social media affects our social skills is vital, especially as more time is spent online interacting in person.
So, how does social media affect our life skills? It can lead to a decline in real time problem solving with the constant notifications and the information overload can also contribute to the cognitive overload and make us have a decreased attention span. It can make us have a decline in empathy by encouraging shallow interactions and cultivating an environment of constant comparison and competition. And sometimes we may rely on a more simplified, superficial exchange. We can also have a decline in effective verbal communication because we're so used to digital communication and being in a text based realm that we start to lack verbally, which can also lead to misunderstandings and difficulty with complex thoughts. And we can also have a decline in mental health. And my sources are New Horizons Wellness Services. Other areas social media can affect your life are it can make you have inadequacies about your appearance, whether it's us comparing ourselves to others, feeling validation through likes, or algorithm reinforcement. It can make us have anxiety, social anxiety, make us feel isolated, and it can also cause depression. And my source is helpguide.org.
So, as Alana said, social media can have a huge impact on our self appearance and how we view ourselves. Social media can cause a decline in our mental health, leading to a variety of different health issues. It can lead to a decline in your self-esteem and how you value yourself. It can increase your need for validation, whether it's through posting photos to see the likes and comments you'll get, or in real life with your peers. It can make you compare yourself to others without even thinking you're doing so, and it can cause you to be dissatisfied with your body. And the photo I chose kind of shows how social media can make you view yourself due to the like perfect people you see online. And my source is from the FAU. Other effects social media can have on someone is it can cause you to have depression and anxiety, an increase in jealousy, feelings of isolation, eating disorders, and disrupted sleep. And this photo shows the number of eating disorders that different social media platforms have led to. Have any of y'all ever experienced any of these due to social media?
Yes, I have. The last one. Well, you know how well, TikTok is like a popular platform that everyone be on. I feel like I be on TikTok like a lot. Sometimes like in the AM, like I eat, sleep, and think about TikTok. I just gets on there, and sometimes I miss sleep because of it. It's just very interesting. You see a lot of different things in different states and stuff. You learn a lot from it, and yes, it also isolates you from a lot of things like the outside world, and going at least like going outside and getting fresh air. I don't really go outside as much, but when I am inside, I'm on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and Snapchat, stuff like that. So yes, it has a lot of effects.
Okay, and then how does social media affect face-to-face communication? Just like Latanzia and Kirsten mentioned in the previous slide, it causes isolation, and this isolation can be from a lack of meaningful connection. Although social media allows for a broader spectrum of connections, this wide net impacts the quality of those connections that we do have. Often these relations are probably cheap, like they just followed you on Instagram or on, and the time taken to maintain these cheap relationships eat away at the time that we have with the people who actually matter in real life. And because of the time taken to maintain these social relations, that can lead to social isolation. The primary age demographic associated with social media is like below the age of 35. Like we mentioned before, a large of connections the younger generation make on social media. So what happens to the older people who don't have access to social media or they just don't want to move over to social media? There's a trend towards the elderly feeling more isolated, whether it's an inability to move to social media or just a refusal. They see a lack of devotion with the younger generation to the real world, preferring face to face. There's feeling of isolation since everybody is moving to online. And social media impacts our quick thinking skills. When chatting face to face, there's a large amount of communication that we have, most of it nonverbal. People raise their eyebrows when they're shocked. They scrunch them when they're confused. Some people move away whenever somebody's talking to them to show disinterest in the conversation. And all of this requires quick thinking to interpret in real time. And because of the internet, this has ability to hide the body language. This skill is largely being lost. There is no longer a need to develop this skill with the use of social media. And while researching this, I came across Goffman's theory, which takes us over to our next slide on the presentation of self, or the theory on the presentation of self. Goffman argued that life is much like a play, like you're in theater. You have a front stage, a backstage, and there's impression management. The front stage is the person that you want to show to hiring managers, the person that you want to show to people in a higher social status. This is a very cultivated persona. And when you're acting in this persona, you're engaging in a performance. Your backstage is how you act when you're around family, when you're with friends, when you're by yourself. This is who you truly are in your day to day life. And then impression management is the work taken to maintain your front stage persona. And social media disrupts the impression management. When you're on TikTok, I'm pretty sure all of you guys see some crazy videos on Instagram Reels. Those are insane. And so with all of these crazy videos that people are posting, there is a disruption to being able to maintain a certain front stage persona. And all of this has an impact on the job market that we have currently. These crazy videos can be seen by hiring managers, by your bosses, by your coworkers. And now your front stage persona is completely broken. They see your backstage self. And so this can have a positive or a negative impact on on your hiring ability. You could post great videos and it can look appealing to hiring managers, or you can post something terribly and they don't want you anymore.
Ways social media influences cyberbullying. Social media and addicted teens are more likely to cyberbully. Lack of consequences, peer pressure, and popularity and secrecy.
So, in conclusion, social media has significantly transformed human interaction by reshaping how we communicate, connect, and form relationships. Although social media has made it extremely easier to stay in touch and has enabled global communication, it's also introduced many challenges. For example, reduced face to face interactions, superficial connections, and increased social comparison. Ultimately, social media has redefined human connection by bringing both greater connectivity and new complexities to our new social lives.